Dragonborn is back!
Hello everyone and welcome to the weekly guide series. In today's video we'll be covering the dragon assassin Zilong. The purpose of this video is to help you improve your knowledge and your gaming experience with Mobile Legends. This guide will be covering a few topics. To start with, we'll familiarize ourselves with the hero skills and the way they work. Secondly, we'll take a look at some possible builds and battle spells that you can use. Thereafter, we'll follow up with the best emblem combinations. And lastly, we'll do a gameplay cover, where you can clearly see how you can make Zilong shine in a match. While we go through the skills, feel free to pause the video and properly read the skill description. Dragon Flurry is his passive ability. Basically, Zilong releases a flurry on his every 4th attack. The faster he hits and the higher his attack is, the more useful this ability becomes. Spear Flip is his first active ability. So as the title says it, you basically flip the target over your head. This ability does not work on enemies with crowd control immunity or on someone who just used the Battlespell Purify. Spear Strike is a fast dash to the selected target, which also reduces the physical defense by 15 points for the next 2 seconds. The special about this skill is that if you get a monster kill or a hero kill after using this ability, the skill will automatically refresh the cooldown, thus enabling you to use it multiple times. This ability becomes very handy when you want to last hit the monsters in the early game, for example, and in any other team fights where you can quickly close the gap between you and your target. Supreme Warrior is the ultimate ability that buffs Zilong. He gains movement speed, attack speed, and also immunity to slows. While the ultimate is active, Zilong's passive is upgraded and now releases a flurry on every 3rd hit. So in other words, his ultimate is his best companion during a team fight. Now let's take a quick look at the builds and the battle spells that you can use for Zilong. Here you can see the current builds that I am using. However, in a game the situations aren't ideal, so many times you'll have to adjust certain items that help you counter specific heroes. For the battle spells, I love using Retribution and Execute. Retribution is advised when there are no other junglers on your team. Zilong on his own is a pretty fast farmer, so if you're jungling and ganking proactively, you'll mostly have the upper hand in any game. That is unless your team is on a feeding spree, of course. Another option is Execute, which works very well when you want to burst down your enemies. This battle spell is very good when you're using the one-shot build. For the emblems, there are a few that work well with Zilong. Personally, I like using emblems that increase his damage. Like for example, Open Fire from the physical emblem, which works well with the jungler build and also the one-shot build. Second option would be High and Dry from the assassin emblem, which also works with the jungler build and the one-shot build. However, here you'll have to be more of a roamer and try and catch the enemies when they are alone or when they are out of position. The third option would be Unbending Will from the fighter emblem. This one works very well with the Speed Hunter build because of his high attack speed. So in a 1v1 situation you would be very lethal because anyone who will try and single-handedly fight you basically marks his own grave. Now let's take a look at the gameplay and see how well Zilong performs in a ranked match. In this game I decided to play him as a jungler because of our team composition. A golden tip for when you're jungling: always watch the minimap and do your best to read the situation. If there is a lane that struggles, definitely try and assist your allies. Mobile Legends is a team game, so you should always try and have the mindset of a team player, not that one of a solo player. Even if in the reality, you are matchmaking alone. As a jungler, you should always try and take your team's red and blue buffs, because they make you considerably stronger and also ready for a team fight. By getting the buffs, you are also anticipating the enemy stealing them. Throughout the match, you will notice that I am often checking the bushes to make sure that we can safely engage the enemies in a fight. When at a disadvantage in numbers, you should always play it safe, unless you are extremely fed, of course. Your targets throughout the game are the marksmen and the mages. Next to that, you should always try and do your best and take the objectives when possible. The reason for that is you need to open up the map so that you can gank with your team more effectively.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
In the previous scene you saw some next level baiting, just so that I can show Zilong's burst if he gets a few core items. By looking at Hanabi's movements on a minimap, she must have thought she'd get a free kill on off support. That is until she saw little old me coming out of her jungle. As an assassin you have to always be as productive as possible. That's because you have to outfarm your enemies and carry your team if needed. A little payback to our friend Karina for ambushing us earlier. Karma is no joke. When you're low HP, don't try to be very heroic, because you'll get to live and you can fight another day. And in the meantime you can keep farming, while the enemy is counting the seconds until respawn. So by pulling back in the previous teamfight, I got to farm some creep aids, some jungle monsters, and I also got a free turret. In this teamfight you will notice that I'm going straight for Hanabi and ignoring all the rest. If we manage to kill her, we slice the enemy's damage significantly. So that's it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, then please leave me a like, subscribe and share this video with your friends. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.